Ladies, you ever have one of those days that really starts like you're going to go back to bed? Like it's awful. And I had one of those a little while ago. It was one of those things that just kept catapulting and on one thing on another on another. And by the time it became, this was all in the morning. And by the time it became noon, I was ready. I was done. I had it with the day. I was going to go um hide. Like I just wanted to go and just put my head over the covers over my head. And in fact, I walked out to my partner and I said to him, I'm going to bend. That's all I'm going to do. I just have to get this off my chest. I am going to yell, scream, and just give you a scenario of my day. And it's not even noon yet. And you are going to stand there and listen and nod, and then I'll walk away. And so I did that. I had that whole conversation and slammed the doors. I walked back in the house. And he just sat back down and continued what he was doing. That, how your day starts doesn't define how your day can end. And here is why. I had to get it off my chest. And I did get it off my chest because I didn't want it to be spinning in my head as somebody that deals with anxiety does. We know that constant wheel. But a friend calls and he says, hey, so and so, a gentleman is going to call you and you need to talk to him. And if he wishes, if you want to pursue it. I don't know what it is. Well, long story short, a gentleman called me and offered me a position with a company for a few years to help them. How do I want to put this? Probably elevate this department to help them broaden this department. And it's in my wheelhouse. It wasn't anything I was looking for. It wasn't anything, but I spent all this time in this negative, meh, 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 meh. But, and then this person said, hey, just give it a listen. Like, just open up your mind for a moment. And I ended up with this amazing opportunity 4 hours later. That my day went from meh, 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 to holy crap, where did that come from? So I am starting this new adventure. I'm totally excited about it. And this is going to be something I'm working in correlation with. I'm still doing my coaching business, like that's not going away. But don't take, I think the moral of the story was don't take that, what is happening to you, as your defining of the whole day. Because if I had done that, my conversation with that person might have gone totally, who knows where that conversation would have been? Who knows if I even would have called that person back? Does that happen to you? Does that happen where something sets you off in the morning and just destroys your day?
I don't know if it's like a day thing, but I think the moral of the story where it's like something crappy could be happening to you right now, but it doesn't define your whole life. Like you're
Right.
not having a crappy life, you're having a crappy moment. And
Mm.
I think that's really interesting because you could have really stretched that out, not called the person or not accepted the phone call or being just really in this mind space, so you're sending off all this negative energy. So yes, not in all in one day. I've never had crappy morning, amazing afternoon, that I can recall, but I definitely think it's something that just because you're having a crappy moment doesn't mean you're having a crappy life.
Or yeah, it doesn't even like I like the way you put that. It doesn't define who you are. You're having a moment. That's
Mhm.
all you're having. And it was pretty frustrating morning. I mean, I was dealing with, I'll just be honest, I was dealing with medical insurance companies, and then I'd call a doctor back and they'd ask for something else, and I'd have to call another doctor, and then I had to call back the medical insurance, and it was like 3 hours of like, holy crap, you know? So I was like, was over here. I was like, well, screw this. Like, I'm done, you know? I'm done with life. I'm just, my day's over. These past 3 hours just like, they just sent me over the edge. I don't know. What about you, Tracy?
I was just, as you were talking about that, I was just thinking it would have been interesting to have seen how your day would have paralleled had you had the good thing happen to you in the morning and then
Yeah,
had to deal with all the nonsense. Would you still have spun out and had the
I
crappy moment, or would it
Oh, that's
stick,
interesting.
would your good news have elevated you enough that it was like, yeah, yeah, this is a bit frustrating, so what?
right. That is very interesting. That is
Hmm.
true. That is it is how you start that mindset of your day, of
Mhm.
how that can lead to how you react to different things. And it's not that I woke up in a bad mood, not at all. I have some practices in the morning to make sure my mindset is in the right projection. Like I don't wake up saying, "Oh, I want to get out of bed." It's more like, "Hey, you got to get out of bed. You woke up this morning. Like, not everybody gets to do that.
Mm.
Come on, let's make this day count." And I was like on it. I went to the doctors. I got my, what I had to do. I called the specialist I was to see, and they're like, "Well, you have to do this." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "I'm on it. I'm on it." And then it just like plummeted. It went, it just crashed and burned, and I was like, but that's interesting. If I had
Yeah.
gotten that news first and then that happened, actually, I know what would have happened. I would have hit a wall with the insurance company. And here's what I would have done. Click. I'll deal with that another day.
Yeah,
I have too much to be grateful for right now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
what I know that's what I would have done. I
yeah,
would have, I would have, I would have just ended that whole day.
yeah. So, I mean, so then the thing that comes to mind is how do you do that in the future when things are tanking out, to remember, oh yeah, this isn't, if I'd had really good news 2 hours ago, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be responding like this, right? I mean, obviously that's really hard to keep in our brains and
Yeah.
our forethought, but it is just an interesting, thing to think about, how that would have worked out if it had been flipped around.
But I also think it was interesting on what I have learned is sometimes I just need to, and I do a lot of journaling. You guys watch past episodes. Tracy and I are huge journalers. But I just needed to like just go out and just go and like, and I have sat my partner down and said, listen, I'm having a conversation with you. I'm going to give you a preference. I don't need you to fix anything for me. I don't need your opinion. I don't need anything. I just need somebody to just like, I need to be,
Absorb it.
yes, I need somebody to feel my pain with me for a moment. And he has done that for me a couple times. Like I'll literally, and I'm pretty proud of myself of saying that, putting that like request in front of him and said, listen, just let me do this. And I have like, bleh, for like 5, 10 minutes. And he'll be like, "Oh, you feel better now?" And I'll be like, actually, I do. Thank you. Or there are times where I've done that and I come back to him and I'll be like, but on this one piece, I do want your opinion on it. Can you give it to me? And he'll be like, yep. And then he'll be, because I asked for it, gives it to me and we walk away. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Thank you. Okay. And I go back to life. So I think that's also an important takeaway here.
I was gonna say, I
And
think that's more important than anything, to
yeah.
be able to ask for what it is that you want and to go to your partner to say, I don't need this fixed. I don't need
Yeah.
your advice. This isn't what I'm here for. I just need to get this off my chest. But then to have the ability to come back and say, you know what? I do value your opinion. Can you tell me what you would do with this piece? Most of us don't request what it is that we want or what it is that we need in those moments. And that's what creates problems in relationships.
Yeah. And the side note I was going to say is that most people, when they're venting, want to do that, vent. They don't
Yeah.
want you to fix it. They don't
No.
want your
No.
advice. They just want someone to listen to them. And if they do want something, they'll ask. So it's just, because I do that and that's what I expect too. Let me just vent. I just want to vent.
Yes.
Don't tell me
Right.
how to do, don't tell me what to do. Just let me vent.
No, that's what's important. And I think we forget about that. I think we forget about you can't asking for what you want is not selfish. It is a way of communication. So
Mhm.
role reversal a little bit. And sometimes I have to do that. Like in my mind, even when I'm having these stories that I'm telling myself about a conversation I'm having with somebody or something, and I'll be like, why did they say that to me? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What did you ask for? Like, did you put the parameters out there? Like, what was your side of the conversation? Like, what was your like aspect of it? And that's taken time. That's taken a lot of time in my journey of healing from everything that I can just say, ba, 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 ba. I remember having a conversation. I know this is off kilter, but I had a conversation with somebody and I called them back to apologize for it. And they're like, oh, that's okay. We all have bad days. I said, no, I'm not apologizing for what I said to you. I'm apologizing for the tone I said it in. I said it very heated, very loud, very disruptive.
Mhm.
I'm old enough to have a civil conversation with you. I'm sorry for that. I don't like being yelled at, and I shouldn't have yelled at you. We learn to ask for what we want.
But
And
that's also takes guts because a lot of people would have just said, oh,
Right.
well, it's over
yeah,
with, too bad, right?
yeah,
Instead of saying, I need to fix this. This is not going to sit right if I don't fix this.
Yeah, but it would
right.
haunt them. It
Yeah.
wouldn't sit
Yeah.
right, and it would keep popping back up.
Mm.
And
Yes, but it wouldn't sit right necessarily for them, but it takes a lot of guts to turn around and say, I not only am I going to do this for myself, but
Yeah.
I want to make sure that this person is okay. I that is equally as important as it is, because you're basically rectifying something that you feel is a wrong that you've done. And
right.
we don't do that, right? And it's the same
Well,
thing with like asking your partner for what it is that you need. Like, especially, I find that, I did that with my husband we've been married forever, but it's like, I had to say to him, I don't need you to fix this because he would always want to fix the problem.
right.
And I was like, no, 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 no. I like, this isn't what I'm asking you to do. I'll fix it. I just need to tell you about this problem because I just want
Right.
it off my chest.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's like you get it off your chest and then your brain becomes free to fix the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, you get rid of all of that junk, that emotion, and your brain goes, oh, okay, I now have the resources to figure out what to do here.
Or take a phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or take a phone call.
Or take a phone call. So, viewers, have you ever had that? Have you ever had a day start really bad and then change? Like, do you allow what is happening to take over and control so much more? Or do you understand that that doesn't need to define you? You can make that change. And if you struggle with that, what are your struggles with that? Let us know in the comments. Share this with somebody that you know goes through these exact same types of struggles. Um, if this episode resonated with you, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, and also hit notifications so you know when the next episode will be coming your way. Until then.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.